All right. So, thank you very much, all of you, for tuning in. I'm Cooper, head of community at LinksDAO, and I'd like to kick things off by giving you all a brief update. We have two active proposals right now for members of the LinksDAO to vote on. One is a really exciting one, donating proceeds of secondary sales this weekend to the First Tee, and the other is in regards to our main mission, our goal here to acquire a golf course. We are looking to partner with a course selection, course sourcing, and course management partner, and we think we have a really good idea of who we're going to go with. So those are the two active votes that are available on Snapshot. Post that link up here to the top of this space in a second. Additionally, we'll have another Twitter Spaces tomorrow, and as always, you can tune in for a schedule of community events starting next Tuesday, with prizes, games, and activities, as well as a question and answer town hall in our Discord. That link is in our bio. With that being said, we have some really big, exciting news today, and I'd love to kick it on over to Jim.
Thanks, Coop. Hey, everyone. This is Jim Daly. I'm sure I've spoken to most of the folks on the spaces, either in a group setting or in DMs. For those of you who I haven't, I'm one of the founders of the project and CEO of LinksDAO. So it's been a big week. Coop talked a little bit about some of the proposals that are out there that we're really excited about. And there's been incredible engagement from the community on those. So everybody that's on the spaces that is part of the LinksDAO community, please keep it up. Engagement and feedback and participation is what this thing is all about. And we absolutely love it. It's also been busy on the kind of strategic and partnership side. So we're going to get into, what we're doing with Callaway in a minute, which is super exciting. But just as a quick reminder for those of you that didn't see it, we also have struck a strategic partnership with Endeavor. And for those of you that don't know, Endeavor it's a William Morris agency and represents a lot of the top professional golfers in the space. We're going to be working with a couple guys, Jay Danzy and Jordan, who represent Jordan Spieth and Patrick Cantlay. They're going to be kind of our core partners on tour engagement. That is PGA Tour engagement. That is European Tour engagement. Basically, any of the really international tours that we'd want to partner with to further the LinksDAO mission, as well as player engagement. They're really incredible partners, and we're thrilled to have them on the LinksDAO team. And I think really the top announcement we had this week is our incredible kind of deep strategic partnership with Callaway. Easily I think the leading company in the game of golf. And this is exciting not only because most people would know Callaway for kind of the incredible equipment that they make, but they have this incredible portfolio of brands that includes, of course, Odyssey and Travis Mathew, Top Golf, as well as a slew of other incredible products and businesses. So our partnership with them is going to be comprehensive across their entire portfolio of companies. The LinksDAO NFT holders or our LinksDAO members in our community are going to receive discounts and unique access to a bunch of the Callaway products, majority of the Callaway products. They're going to have special access to limited run Callaway products. We're going to have co-branded LinksDAO Callaway products like balls, towels, head covers, so on and so forth. They're going to be sold through our token gated pro shop. And then there's incredible stuff at Top Golf as well. So there's going to be specific discounts for our global members, some discounts for our leisure members, discounts on lifetime memberships, platinum memberships, so on and so forth. And then some really cool stuff around some World Golf Tour tournaments for our globals, and then also special offers and tournaments for our globals as well. So we're just going to have some really extraordinary stuff going on with these guys. And this is really just the beginning of our relationship with Callaway. It has been months and months in the making. We were connected with these folks, I would say, back in March, or maybe late February. I was speaking with Chip Brewer, their CEO, who's an incredible man and leader, and we started trying to ideate on ways that we could work together. Then we also have worked with a couple folks that are going to be on the call today, actually. Nick and Jeff, who will introduce themselves in a moment, but really like leaders in this space and just an absolute joy to work with. And we've really been working hard also with the LinksDAO team, with Bez and with Cooper and also Greg Hill, who's going to go into some more details about how we're going to be implementing this for everybody. To try to come up with something that's truly incredible for the LinksDAO community. And we want to make sure, obviously, with all partners we're working with, that we're bringing a lot of value to both sides of the coin. And so Callaway and Topgolf, which I couldn't think of better partners, are going to become the official golf equipment partners and entertainment launch partners for LinksDAO. Which means basically, we're going to be trying to work as closely as we can from now and for years and years and years in the future to create a deep relationship and one that benefits both parties and is just nothing but the best for our community. So in a little while, you're gonna hear from Nick, who's the head of marketing at Callaway, and Jeff, who is the head of PR from Callaway. We collated a bunch of the questions that have come from the community. We're not going to have an enormous amount of time today, so we wanted to get as many questions down on paper as we could. So you're going to hear from them in a moment. But before we did that, I did want Greg Hill, who is our head of project management, our VP of project management, to come in and give you a little sense about how our LinksDAO members are going to be able to access these killer benefits. So Greg, over to you.
Thanks, Jim. Yeah, excited to talk to you about this today. So, ultimately what we wanted to figure out was making sure that, first and foremost, this benefit remained exclusive to members, right? And so as you thought about that, there's lots of different ways to do this, but the best way was, we have the Clubhouse. We recently launched it. It is a exclusive to token holders site that, as you authenticate your wallet, we look at if you own the NFT, and if you do, you gain access to the Clubhouse. The benefits section currently has a list of all the benefits that LinksDAO members have now. What you'll see added over the course of the next couple of days, perhaps a week, we're very specifically not setting a timeline because we're still working on this. But what you'll see is you'll be able to click on the Callaway benefit within the benefits part of the site. Then that'll take you to a page where you'll be able to claim a code. That code that you claim can then be copied, and then as you visit CallawayGolf.com, you'll be able to paste that code at checkout and receive your benefit. So that's one way that we want to really make sure that this remains within the community, because it's such a special thing for LinksDAO members. We didn't want this to be surfaced outside of the community. We felt that doing this within the Clubhouse was the right fit there, and then as you're there, you can see the other benefits that you have. There are a range of other, as Jim mentioned, other benefits that are associated with this partnership. Over the course of the next couple of days, we'll continue to announce how to redeem those, how to use those. Our goal is to make that very easy and simple. And so we'll communicate that. We'll get feedback on how to do it. We'll definitely iterate over time to make it even easier and even simpler. As far as sort of more detail, you might be thinking, that you talk fast. That's a lot of information. What we will post in the members announcements tonight is an FAQ doc that should go into more detail specifically on how you can access it, where you can access it, when you can access it, who can access it. And then if you have more questions, obviously, please hit us up in Discord. We are going to be there roughly 24/7. We'll answer and iterate on feedback.
That's great. Thanks, Greg. In a minute, guys, we're going to kick it over to Bez for a chat with a bunch of our friends from Callaway. I did actually want to mention one more person who was instrumental in helping put this all together, and that's a consummate professional and a good friend, Dave Neville, who really helped kick this whole thing off, who's another kind of head marketing exec over at Callaway. So thanks to Dave as well. So with that, Bez, I'm going to kick it over to you for a session with Nick and Jeff.
Thanks, Jim. I think Coop invited Jeff and Nick to come on up and speak. So I think if you guys have seen those invites come through on your app, that would be
perfect.
We could chat.
While you guys are waiting to set that up, this is Dudas. Just wanted to genuinely and deeply thank everybody who's been a part of LinksDAO from well before the NFTs were dropped, since December when we came out with the concept of, we are going to buy a golf course. We're at a very special place with a very, very special group of partners, and obviously Callaway is at the head of the class in terms of our amazing partners. So just really I have not much to say other than thank you to the community members who have basically made everyone believe that we have something special going on here, and the core team members and the community who stepped up to make these incredible partnerships happen, the events we've had happen, and basically have made it inevitable that by next year we're going to have one of the top 100 golf courses in the world that we're all going to be able to play at.
Absolutely. This community, this team has been excellent. And I want to take the opportunity as well to remind Nick and Jeff that you have to be on mobile to accept the speaker invite. So that might be the hold up here, but we are really excited to get y'all up on stage and talk a little bit more about these really exciting benefits with Callaway here. Absolutely thrilled to be having
does that mean I
today.
have to keep Coop? Does that mean I have to keep talking, or is Jim going to kick me off?
That'd be all right.
Yeah, we've had some other wonderful things. Should we talk about some of the other wonderful things happening in the LinksDAO world, like our Reciprocal Golf program, our golf tour that Jim may have won a match on today?
Yeah, buddy. And for those of you that have known Mike and I for a while, you know that if two of us are in a room, we could basically talk for hours. So there's a bunch of other really interesting things that maybe not everybody on the spaces, if you're not in the community right now, is aware of. We are kicking off a global reciprocal program for our global members, which we'll have more information coming out kind of in the press and in the trade shortly. But it's one of the main things that when we dropped the NFTs at the start, it was a promise for our global members, and it will allow reciprocal play for those folks across many of the best golf courses that people preside at in our community. And again, this is all going to be taking place within our member platform, which is fully house developed, called Clubhouse, where you can kind of get all of our benefits in one place. And it's really going to be kind of the door to all of the best things in golf for our community and anybody that wants to join our community. As well as that, people that are not in the community might not know about what our proposals are. We have a couple interesting proposals out there. We have one that people are voting on currently that essentially is, if our community would like us to work with one of the top golf sourcing, consulting, and management companies to find the optimal first property, do the due diligence on it, and ultimately close it, help with the redesign with the top architect, and then ultimately manage the course when it opens. So that's an open proposal that we currently have right now that should be closing shortly. And we had another one where we asked the community, or the community is voting on a proposal to support the first tee with a portion of the revenue and funds from LinksDAO going to that. Which I personally think is a absolutely sensational thing. But the community will ultimately decide if they feel like that is the right thing. But I think there's fewer, better organizations doing more impactful things in the golf community than the first tee. So again, very busy week, very active community, a lot of things going on. And if we have Jeff and Nick up now, Bez.
Yep, they're both up here. Yep. I think we're ready to go.
Okay, great.
We are officially alive and kicking.
We're here.
Welcome.
Well,
so
guys,
I have to say, before we do anything else, Jim, you're saying the phrase of a joy to work with. I think most of the Callaway team here would probably disagree, but I may have to say that. Thank you.
You got it, Nick.
Well, awesome, guys. I will echo Jim's sentiments. It's been a blast working with both of you guys over the last handful of months, and quite closely over the last few weeks as we got to getting this live.
It's been fun. It's been nice and quiet, hasn't it?
Oh yeah, very quiet. I'm sure very quiet for you guys. But I think I think the sort of to kick things off, I know Jim gave a quick background on your roles within Callaway, but I think maybe even more so would love to hear sort of your roles prior, even prior to Callaway, and sort of roles in the golf industry. Maybe Nick, if you want to get started, briefly, and then Jeff, and then we can dive into some more some stuff around LinksDAO and NFTs and the future of golf.
No, fantastic. I'll happily kick us off, and I'll do, as the team will tell you, I'll do my best to be brief, but it may not always be the case. So you may recognize a slightly different accent. So I'm originally from a small town just outside St Andrews in Scotland. And despite the fact that I worked for Procter & Gamble for 5 years in the European offices, then moved to Nestle in their global headquarters in Switzerland before joining Callaway. And I was running sales and marketing in Europe for a good few years. And then I had the fortunate opportunity to move over to take over global marketing here at Callaway in Carlsbad, California, and had the perfect timing where I moved my family on February 25th, 2020. And as most of you are aware, there was something that happened a couple of weeks later that made it a little bit interesting for the first few months. But I'm very privileged in the job that I do. I've got an awesome team, and we get to basically make the best products in golf, and also have some fun with advertising, with content, and making great experiences for consumers. So what we're going to talk about today in terms of the relationship and what we're doing, I think is just yet again another opportunity for us, hopefully, to lead, to create amazing experiences, and to partner alongside some fantastic people. So looking forward to it. Jeff, from your side?
Yep. Thanks, Nick. Thank you, everyone, for having us on. As Nick mentioned, I run our PR and communications here at Callaway. I've actually been with the company for a little bit over 9 years now. And what's been exciting, in my role, both in digital marketing and PR and communications, is seeing a lot of our commitment to innovation, whether that's in the product space, as Dave Neville, who was mentioned earlier on this call, who runs our categories in woods and irons and wedges, seeing what we've really been able to deliver in the space of artificial intelligence in some of our products, including our Rogue ST lineup this year, as well as what we're doing both in the on-course and off-course space, and why this is such a natural fit for us with this partnership with LinksDAO, which I'm sure we'll get into in a little bit. So it's been a very exciting space to be in the golf industry. Excited for what's ahead, and just look forward to working with the LinksDAO team more. And thank you all for having us on the call this evening.
Yeah, and thanks for making the time to chat tonight, guys. I think maybe to kick things off, Jeff, you kind of alluded to it a little bit, but as it relates to some of the technology you guys are employing, but maybe how does Callaway sort of broadly kind of think about R&D when it relates to innovating within golf, both with equipment and outside of equipment? Obviously, you guys have acquired Topgolf as maybe an indication of that, but I'd love to hear about how you guys think about that topic.
Jeff, do you want me to handle that one, and then you can fill in when I get it wrong?
Sure, go for it.
So again, in terms of R&D and everything that we're looking at, we really talk about being the modern golf company. And so I think people will understand, as we said at the beginning, it's like, okay, so Callaway creates great golf clubs, has been famous for many years for everything from Big Bertha drivers to Chrome Soft golf ball to Odyssey 2-ball putter, etc. But if you look at how the company has changed and how it's really transforming, this idea of being a modern golf company, we basically want to make sure that we're delivering outstanding experiences for people, whether they're playing golf, whether they're talking about golf, whether they're playing virtual golf, whether they're at a driving range or Topgolf, etc. And that's really where we're trying to, if you like, diversify, but also make sure that we're investing in all these areas so that we're delivering the best possible experience for everybody. And that's, we know that there are people who love golf but have never been in a golf course. We also know that there are people who are going to love the game, but they've just not seen it yet. And so what we're trying to do across all of our companies and all of our organization is how do we develop something that makes sure that golf is fun, that it's accessible, that's engaging, and that you can basically make people come back and say, you know what, I actually really enjoyed that. And for too many years, it was seen as an old man stuffy game, etc. And what we're trying to do now is just say, okay, actually this is something that everybody can come and play and can enjoy regardless of age or whatever background. All it needs is for your kind of opportunity and your chance to be able to do something that's fun and exciting.
Thanks, Nick. And yeah, I think just to add to that point, we certainly are proud to be the leaders in of course, we think of product and innovation in the on-course experience, and really wherever you're meeting golf in whatever your situation or your exposure to golf is, whether that is Top Golf, whether you're a member at a golf course or you play the driving range or you like playing the local munis with your buddies. Whatever your experience is in the game, from a really good someone who plays 100 rounds a year to someone who's just going into the game of golf and wants to experience it more, we want to provide the best experiences for you wherever you're meeting the game.
Awesome. And I think that point that you guys both mentioned around approachability and accessibility is obviously something that is at the center of why we're doing what we're doing, and is clear why there's such great alignment between LinksDAO and Callaway. And I think sort of jumping off of that point, what excites you guys about sort of all of the new entrants in the game of golf, whether that's LinksDAO and Web3 crypto stuff, or even just other startups, other new companies. Obviously the industry has seen a massive amount of interest and enthusiasm over the last 24 months on the back of COVID. So curious what you guys have seen during that period that's gotten you excited.
Yeah, I'll take a stab at answering this. So I would say there's several elements. The first part is, you say COVID in general was good for golf. And in terms of getting new people back out onto the golf course, etc., and the amount of people that took up the game. But in terms of this specific space, I think it's important. It's exciting because there's so many people around the world who didn't necessarily have that kind of initial education, and the fact that you're actually being able to do that, you're being able to deliver that. The millions of players around the world are represented, and actually, even someone like yourself, where you have a true global footprint. And what makes it exciting for us is, even when we look in terms of the numbers, so you got 29,000 followers on Twitter. You've got 14,500 in terms of the Discord, etc. They are truly passionate golfers. And in many ways, especially with the NFT holders, not everybody puts their money where their mouth is. And so for us, that opportunity to actually engage and almost shape what the future is going to look like, I think is really outstanding. And the reason that we were talking in initially was, everybody wants to say, okay, so what is the ultimate experience that we can create, regardless of how you're interacting with golf? And even some of the votes, some of the discussions you guys are having about, okay, so what golf course are we going to have? What partners do we want to have with, etc. It's great because you're providing each other a forum that says, how can we get a collective group to bring together and create the best possible experience? And that's what we do as a company. And so therefore, not only the fact that you and others are coming in like that, but the fact that we've got to partner with somebody who I think shares our vision that says golf is changing. We're going to make it better. We're going to make it more accessible. We're going to make it more fun, etc. I think it's a huge opportunity for us all.
So I take the words right out of my mouth. Obviously we couldn't agree more with you. I mean, maybe even diving deeper into the sort of this Web3 crypto NFT world, to what extent did you guys even, have this on your radar over the last, 12 to 18 months, even before, we got connected? Were there other things that you guys looked at, and maybe what specifically about LinksDAO was attractive to Callaway?
Yeah. So, and I guess like everybody else, we've looked, and like other companies, it's like, okay, so what is our place going to be? We know the tour have been having discussions. We know several of our players have been having discussions. I was actually on the phone with one of the agents today who was saying, okay, so this is what we're going to do, and this is how we're thinking about it. And I believe they may have an overlap in terms of what we're doing. But when we were looking specifically around partners, and it was mentioned earlier on that I know Dave Neville has a contact and put initial discussions around it. And when we were looking at that, there's a phrase that we use internally in Callaway, and it's basically from Ely Callaway himself, the our founder of the company, and he talks about DSPD. And DSPD is demonstrably superior and pleasingly different. And so how we translate that is we want our products to be demonstrably superior. And then the way we communicate them, the experience that we can deliver, we want that to be pleasingly different. And when we started to talk with with Jim, with Alex, and everybody else in the team, it became immediately apparent for us that actually we had someone who had shared values in there, in terms of they didn't just want to do the same experience as everybody else. How are we going to make it better? And how are we going to make it more enjoyable for the people that are going to be taking part? And again, you obviously, in terms of the amount of money that was raised straight off the bat, you can see that people also shared that kind of vision and that passion. And so that ability to be able to communicate with the followers, but also in terms of the management team, in terms of that vision and that direction that felt so similar, it was a very, very easy conversation in the end.
Great. No, that's I mean, one, love to hear that it was so obvious to you guys, but two, it's clear that you had, from our initial conversations, it's clear that you had been spending time in the category and space, and I think that's a testament to, to Callaway sort of thinking of themselves as a modern golf company and wanting to be on sort of the bleeding edge of what's happening from an innovation perspective. I think kind of dovetailing with that point, I guess, what are the innovations that you guys seeing in golf, kind of broadly over the next 5+ years, whether it's equipment changes, new businesses, maybe even like the way the game is approached from a recreational perspective? Like what are you what's sort of top of mind for you all?
Yeah, so I guess this is one where we have to be a little careful since it's a public forum, so we're not going to
yes,
do much
without divulging any sort of top secret Callaway plans.
I'll tackle it bit by bit, and then I'll let Jeff jump in as well if there's anything. But if you look within the golfing space over, I'd say, the last 5 to 10 years, and you talk to people in terms of even from a club development perspective, so everybody was making clubs effectively in the same way. If you look at what Callaway were able to do in terms of the use of AI, and actually, I think at one stage, one of the stats was that we had one of the biggest supercomputers outside of Northern California in America. And that's where, when we're looking at how we're creating clubs, how we're doing it, our R&D guys, even in some of the extents, they're just like, well, we don't know why this works, but we know it works and we're getting that. And of course, the part of AI that works best is that every year you give it a different set of parameters and it learns from them each time and each time. And so almost to the extent where virtually every face on our clubs are completely different. And if you think about what we've been able to do so far and how you can continue that out, there's a definite pipeline and a pathline in terms of innovation that we're able to follow. I think if I look at then the wider company, and again, this is where I separate, if you like, the business that I'm responsible for in terms of Callaway Golf versus Callaway plus Travis Matthew plus Top Golf plus World Golf Tour, etc. It's really about delivering experience. And if we can deliver that experience to golfers in any shape or form, and we've also things like our investment in 5-iron golf, you get a completely different person that comes along versus a family that are coming along playing Angry Birds for the first time ever at Top Golf. But every single one of them in their own unique way are saying, okay, what am I doing? How am I enjoying golf? What can I do? And if we can deliver on that, not only in terms of the equipment to make the game easier, but also in terms of the experiential part across all of our different businesses to make golf more fun, more accessible as well. You mentioned just before we started about First Tee is one of the partners that we work with. We work with Women's Golf Day in terms of how we're driving that. I know you guys have a relationship with Stephen Curry. We have the same too. We've been driving that in terms of participation. And so what we can do in terms of experience and making it easier, but also making it wider for people, I think that's where the biggest actually advancement is going to be over the coming years.
Well, I appreciate the time, guys. I'll give you one last question here. I'll let you let you run. So, just given sort of the partnership that we're building here and forging here, and sort of the focus on growing the game of golf, I guess, like, how would you like to see other golf companies, whether they could be competitors of yours, they could be other sort of like peer companies who are not necessarily direct equipment competitors, but other players in the space. How do you think we could all sort of like work alongside one another to make golf more fun, accessible, approachable, and sort of continue continue what the mission of LinksDAO is?
Yeah, and again, you're right. Partly for me, I don't want to talk about in terms of what our competitors should do or shouldn't do, and in many ways, when they don't take action, it's actually a benefit.
Sure.
But I think the main thing I would say is people have talked for however many years about, okay, we need to do this to grow the game, we need to do that to grow the game, etc. Through the acquisition of Topgolf, through the fact that there are 20 million plus visits per year, etc. And we know of the people that go, 50% of them aren't golfers. After they've been once, more than 75% of them are interested in taking up the game. So in terms of what we're doing there, what was mentioned already with Women's Golf Day, First Tee, Steph Curry, etc. What I would love is for all organizations across golf, and this isn't just brands, but whether it's the ruling bodies, whether it's the other authorities, is to actually get together and take action. And if you look over the last 12 to 18 months, there was activity that started with the program, and you'll see this in advertising, etc., with Make Golf Your Thing. And that's the first time that arguably the independent bodies, etc., have come together. Now, they need to do more. We all need to do more. And that's why, from a Callaway perspective, we were saying, look, we want to be part of Make Golf Your Thing, but we think we can do more, and we think we can do much better as well. And that's what we believe we've done with Topgolf, with 5-Iron Golf, even with our investment in terms of what we want to do in terms of marketing partnership and growing the game with you guys as well. And my thing would be to everybody else is like, we're in a fairly unique environment where golf is growing for the first time in however many years, and there's a huge interest around the game. This isn't the time to just sit back and say, okay, so how much money are we going to make or whatever else. This is the time to invest, and that's when we'll get the real return as we go forward.
And to that point, I think we just see the enthusiasm of wherever people are in their golf journey. Again, whether it's you're a scratch player who's a champion at your home club, or you're really just trying to take up or have an interest in golf for the first time, we're seeing enthusiasm across the board. And to Nick's point of people who are engaging, whether it's with Topgolf, with 5-Iron, once they get into it, the passion is really immediate, again, at whatever type of level of player that you are. So I think that's something that we're going to continue to see. And like Nick mentioned, there's still a long way to go, but we know that people really are loving being a part of the game right now and looking to grow that in the years to come.
Yeah.
Great. Well, I really appreciate the time tonight, guys. Also really appreciate the partnership that and the relationship we've been able to build over the last handful of months, and excited for what's to come, and excited to play some Callaway clubs on the first LinksDAO course.
No, and likewise, we are super excited about this opportunity and what this partnership allows us to present. But also, and it's funny, as my phone has been going in terms of new followers, etc. For everybody who's in the forum, I really look forward to trying to engage and kind of sharing what we're doing, how we're trying to grow golf through content, through looking at different aspects, etc. And what you guys are able to do and how we can work together, I think could be really exciting. So also look forward to talking more with you guys and getting more involved in these forums and the Discord, etc. as well. So look forward to it.
Yep.
Awesome.
Again, just sort of to reiterate Nick's point, and working with the LinksDAO team so far, it's very clear as far as the passion that you guys have for the game and for your community. And so we're excited to help support and be a part of it, and seeing what the future holds with LinksDAO and Callaway.
Awesome. Well, thanks, guys. Really appreciate the time, and excited for what's next.
Yep.
Pleasure. And good
Thank you very much.
on golf courses.
Jim, Coop,
Thank you.
anything else?
Yep. So again, thanks for everybody for joining tonight. To reiterate what Mike had said, thanks so much for the community, for all that you guys contribute to the project. You are the core of this thing. and we are dedicated to delivering for you every day. Thanks to Nick and Jeff and all the folks from Callaway. We couldn't be more thrilled to be partnering together. And here's to an incredible future ahead. So have a great night, everybody, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, everybody.
Cheers. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much. Have a good night.